Good morning. Welcome to Markets Today. I'm your host, Mbithe. Hosting alongside with me this morning is Mr. George Bodo. Good morning, George. How are you doing?
Good morning. Baby.
Yes? How's it going so far?
Not too bad. It's quite cold.
Very cold. No, it's actually getting a bit warmer. Looks like the NSE is actually following tact on that. You saw the market turnover was actually up yesterday. We had a good run yesterday in terms of turnover. It was up almost 86% day on day. Do you have anything to say with that regard?
Well, I can only say that global warming is catching up.
Global warming is, we hope that trajectory keeps on. So what happened yesterday? Turnover was up about 86% day on day. The bulk of this trading was actually in Safaricom. 20 million shares were traded yesterday. Most of the trading was actually by foreigners. And the interesting trend that we picked up yesterday was they were net sellers getting out of the stock. Traditionally, they have been net buyers. So we shall be dwelling on that whole issue of Safaricom, just trying to see if there's value in that whole scenario. But before we get into that, we want to give you a highlight of the news and insights we want you to pay attention to. We will be giving you an overview of the markets, what's happening in the news, what do you need to pay attention to. But more importantly, we have with us in studio Ms. Faith Mwangi, who's a senior associate in the banking research team at Telema. So Faith will be taking us through the interest rate caps, banking valuations. Are the Kenyan banks overvalued? Are they undervalued? Are there any triggers to enhance the value vis-a-vis the budget that has just been read? Stay tuned with us and let's have a look at the news that's happening over the day. George, is there any interesting news that's happening that we need to focus on?
Yeah, I just picked out stuff like the Treasury is projecting a 21.5% reduction on stamp duty collections for this fiscal year.
From housing?
Yeah.
What's happening there? People not able to sell or buy?
It's a reflection of what's been going on in the housing market.
Tight liquidity.
Yeah, there's a reduction in sales. And usually, typically, stamp duty is collected out of property transfers.
So a bit of a worrying trend there that this particular asset class has actually seen a decline.
Yeah.
And it actually reads and speaks to what's happening on the NSE and other asset classes. But here's a question for you, George. So if the prices are coming down and the turnover from that asset class is coming down, is it potentially a time to start looking for houses to buy? Maybe? If you're bargain hunting.
Bargain hunting.
Would you be going up market, middle market, or low end market?
I think low market, that's why the ROEs are good.
That's why the ROEs are. That's why you get better yields.
Usually on the upper side, the yields are very, very low.
Very low.
Yeah, you're taking a sub 5% yield on Kenyan shilling.
So we all go to Syokimau and get our rental yields of 8%. And maybe focus on that.
I think if we're even going further
away. Kajiado it is. Anything else that we need to look out for the day ahead?
Yeah, games, tax rebates likely to be pulled off if you delist.
If you delist.
Yeah, you know, I'm always against tax rebates. But it's fine.
I guess it's an incentive. You have to have something there. But the thing is, I think on the games, nothing much tends to happen there. They have tried to have as many incentives as they possibly can. So is the issue that the incentives are insufficient or the companies are just not ready to expose their books to the public?
Maybe. I think the issue of opacity is, you know, when you come to the public markets, it's brutal. The public market is very brutal.
And anyway, if you're there and you're the analyst,
especially
you need
the
to be
disclosure,
scared.
and when you have faith here.
You have faith in George, and they will be looking at your numbers and asking, why is your bottom line not making sense? People don't like that. Yeah. So it's not necessarily an issue of incentive.
I think in as much as they try to balance it off with certain incentives, especially on the tax side, you have a 5-year tax amnesty, but you still see uptake is still very low. Actually,
uptake is very low.
Something of a research interest, actually. Someone should take this and do a research on it.
But you know, conversely, in the private markets, especially in private equity, there's a lot of capital that's going there. So in a way, maybe you don't need to go through the risk of overly exposing your nascent business if you can actually get access to funding in a different market. But that's a conversation for another day. Aside of that, anything on Kenol Kobil? I see it's dropped its market share about 1.8%, and it's now third in position behind Vivo and Total.
You know, Total has done, Vivo and Total have been active in the acquisition.
Very active in the acquisition.
And just of late, Vivo, which is trading under the brand Shell, has just acquired Engine stores.
So that's actually helping them.
So that's helped prop up their market share. So but I think for Kenol Kobil, maybe they need to, you know, it's difficult to, in today's market, it's difficult to build on the distribution so it's all on brownfield
you have
approach.
To maybe acquire.
Yeah.
But maybe the recent acquisition or the recent shareholders could maybe help in that element in terms of going brownfield.
It's not very clear what the new guys want to do.
That's true, it's not very clear.
Let's see what if the
we need to get Kenol here. We need to get Kenol here and help us understand.
We should actually get them here.
Yes, the strategy. All right, so that's what we have for you in terms of markets and news that need to define your day forward. We will take a short break. Don't go too far. When we come back, remember, we are hosting Faith Mwangi, who's a senior associate in the banking research team at Telema, to discuss what do these interest rates means, what do they mean for your bank valuations, should you be buying KCB, Equity, Co-Bank or any other bank, or should you be considering selling? We'll take a short break. Keep it right here with us at Markets Today.